Have you ever wondered what it's really like to become like a YouTube star?
Hmm.
Well, today we're going to do a deep dive into the world of Joe Sugg.
Care.
We're going to be using his interview on the Diary of a CEO podcast as our guide.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I know, I was so excited to listen to that one.
Me too.
This guy went from like a roof thatcher to just internet megastar, like millions of subscribers by the time he was 22.
It's incredible.
Talk about a wild ride, but like behind the scenes, it wasn't all just like glitz and glam.
Right.
Joe opens up about like the pressures of fame and some mental health struggles that he had, and also just the need to constantly evolve in like the world of online content.
Yeah, but that's like the thing with the internet, is it's constantly changing.
So fast.
Yeah,
Are you ready to kind of uncover the real story behind the screen?
I'm ready. Let's go.
Let's dive in.
It's just so fascinating how his story reminds us that there's like often a human side to these like larger than life internet personalities.
Yeah.
And his journey like started way before YouTube,
Oh, for sure.
with a childhood that was marked by both creativity and shyness.
Yeah, he wasn't always the confident guy we see on camera.
No.
He actually described himself as like a loud, annoying child
Oh, wow.
who later became pretty introverted as a teenager.
Interesting.
But that creative spark was always there.
Absolutely. He loved drawing, and he even created these like DIY radio shows with his sister Zoe.
Oh, that's right.
It's like he was almost destined for a career in entertainment.
Right. And speaking of destiny, can you believe he almost became an animator?
Oh, yeah.
He dreamed of working for Aardman Animations.
The Wallace and Gromit people.
Yeah, can you picture him like sculpting those iconic characters?
I can totally see that.
So wild.
It's amazing to think about, like, the alternate paths our lives could take.
Mm-hmm.
And speaking of alternate paths, remember how Joe actually trained as a roof thatcher for a while?
That's right. And here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
Imagine this. Joe's like up on a rooftop working away.
Yeah.
And suddenly he gets this email inviting him to interview Simon Cowell in Los Angeles.
What?
Talk about a life-changing moment.
That's crazy.
It's a perfect illustration of how the internet can like catapult someone from obscurity to fame.
Overnight.
Practically overnight, one day you're working a traditional trade, and the next you're rubbing shoulders with A-list celebrities.
Exactly. It's no wonder he experienced some serious imposter syndrome.
Totally. It's like,
Yeah.
how do you even process that kind of sudden shift?
Right.
And Joe admits that even with all that success, he struggled with self-doubt.
Yeah.
It just goes to show that those feelings can creep in no matter how accomplished you are.
It's a really important reminder that outward success doesn't always equate to inner peace.
So true.
And Joe's experience kind of highlights a broader issue.
Okay.
The mental health challenges that so many young creators face in the world of online fame.
It's such a tough world.
Yeah.
Around 2016, 2017, he went through a period of like intense burnout and anxiety.
I can only imagine.
He was juggling multiple YouTube channels, book releases, appearances, all while feeling this immense pressure to maintain this online persona.
It's like he was living a double life.
Yeah, and it's understandable why he felt that way. The constant demand for new content, the pressure to engage with fans,
Yeah.
the scrutiny of being in the public eye, it can all take a toll.
It's exhausting.
Absolutely. And it's during this really challenging time that Joe's story takes an important turn.
Okay.
He recognizes that he needs help
Good for him.
and reaches out to his sister Zoe, who also happens to be a YouTube star.
Oh, wow. That's so great that he had her to talk to.
It's such a crucial point. Having someone who understands the pressures of that world must have been incredibly valuable.
Absolutely. And it highlights the importance of having a support system, especially when you're going through tough times.
Right. And Joe didn't stop there. He also sought help from a therapist,
Wow.
which is such a powerful message.
It is.
It normalizes therapy and shows that it's okay to ask for professional support when you're struggling.
It's a sign of strength, not weakness.
So true.
To acknowledge that you need help, and Joe's willingness to be vulnerable about his mental health journey can inspire others to do the same.
Now let's talk about Joe's decision to do Strictly Come Dancing.
Okay.
It seemed like such a bold move at the time.
It really was.
What prompted him to step outside of his YouTube comfort zone?
Well, Joe was already starting to feel the need to evolve as a creator.
Yeah.
He realized that the type of content that had brought him early success might not resonate with his audience forever.
He even said that the kind of videos he made back in the day probably wouldn't be popular now.
Yeah, the internet moves so fast.
It's so fast.
Audience tastes are constantly changing.
Exactly. And that's where Strictly comes in.
Okay.
It offered him this incredible opportunity to try something new connect with a different audience, and show off a whole other side of himself.
Like showcase his dancing skills?
Yeah, plus, let's not forget, it's where he met his current girlfriend, Diane Buswell.
Oh, that's right.
Who knew finding love on a reality dance competition could be part of the YouTube success story?
It's certainly not the most conventional way to meet someone.
It's not.
But their relationship seems to be thriving.
Yeah, and it's interesting how Joe initially had reservations about dating so publicly because of his large female fan base.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's one thing to share your life online,
Right.
but navigating a relationship in the public eye adds a whole other layer of complexity.
Absolutely. But strictly kind of force them together.
Yeah.
In this unique, high-pressure environment, they spent weeks rehearsing, performing, and essentially living in each other's pockets.
It's like a crash course in relationship building.
Exactly. And Joe even joked about seeing the best and worst of each other during that time.
Oh, I bet.
It sounds like they really formed a strong bond through that shared experience.
For sure. And speaking of shared experiences, have you heard the story about Joe and Diane being followed by paparazzi while driving a borrowed Aston Martin?
No way. Tell me everything.
So Joe had borrowed this fancy car.
Ooh, trying to impress Diane.
Yeah, and as they're driving along, they realize they have a photographer on their tail.
Oh no, did they get caught?
Well, Joe, being the quick thinker that he is, decides to have a little fun with the situation.
Okay.
He tells Diane to crank up the James Bond theme song.
Are you serious? That's amazing.
Right, and thankfully they managed to shake off the paparazzi.
Good for them.
It's a perfect example of Joe's ability to find humor, even in stressful situations.
He seems like a fun guy to be around.
And that's what makes his story so relatable.
Yeah.
He's achieved this incredible level of success, but he's still grounded.
Yeah.
He's honest about his struggles, finds joy in unexpected places, and doesn't take himself too seriously.
Exactly. And that's why his story resonates with so many people. He's a reminder that even those who seem to have it all figured out are still on their own journey,
Yeah.
navigating the ups and downs of life just like the rest of us.
So what does all of this mean for us?
It's a good question.
What are the key takeaways from Joe Sugg's experience that we can apply to our own lives?
I think Joe's journey just highlights a really important point, like it's okay to acknowledge and manage self-doubt.
Right.
Like that feeling of imposter syndrome.
It's something so many of us struggle with no matter what we've accomplished.
Totally. It's like that nagging voice telling you you're not good enough, even when you have achieved some amazing things.
Yeah.
But Joe shows us it's possible to work through it.
Yeah.
To push past those doubts and just keep growing.
Absolutely.
He also emphasizes the importance of seeking help when you're facing mental health challenges.
For sure.
Joe's openness about his struggles with anxiety and burnout is a powerful reminder that you don't have to go through those tough times alone.
Yeah, it's okay to reach out.
And seeking help can come in different forms, reaching out to a trusted friend or family member like Joe did with Zoe.
Yeah.
Or seeking professional guidance from a therapist.
Absolutely. There's no shame in asking for support, whatever form it takes.
Yeah.
In fact, it's a sign of strength to recognize when you need help and to take steps to get it.
So true. Joe's story also highlights the importance of adapting and evolving as our interests and goals change.
Yeah. He went from creating those lighthearted YouTube videos
Yeah.
to exploring new avenues like Strictly
Yeah.
and writing a book about nature and the outdoors.
It's a great reminder that it's okay to pivot,
Totally.
to explore new paths, and just let go of what no longer serves us. Our passions and priorities can shift over time, and that's perfectly normal.
It's like he's saying, don't be afraid to ride a new wave.
Yeah.
It's inspiring to see him embrace those changes and continue to pursue his passions.
Let's not forget the importance of finding balance between the online world and real life experiences.
Right.
Joe's shift towards nature and gardening, connecting back to his roof thatching days,
Yeah.
shows us that it's vital to nurture those offline connections and passions.
It's so easy to get caught up in the digital world,
Yeah.
with its constant demands for attention and engagement.
Oh, yeah.
But Joe's story reminds us to step away from the screen sometimes, to reconnect with ourselves and the world around us.
And speaking of stepping away, Joe's decision to move on from that peak of YouTube fame,
Yeah.
even though he could have easily just kept riding that wave,
Totally.
is a powerful statement.
It sounds like he really needed to step back and reassess his priorities.
Yeah.
It makes you think about your own goals, right?
Mhm.
Are you chasing someone else's idea of success?
Yeah.
Or are you building something that truly fulfills you?
That's such a powerful question for all of us to consider. Joe's willingness to step away from a platform where he had achieved such massive success speaks volumes about his commitment to personal growth.
For sure.
He recognized that clinging to past triumphs could actually hinder his evolution as a creator and as a person.
It's almost like he's saying, don't be afraid to let go of the wave you're riding if it's no longer taking you the direction you want to go.
There's real wisdom in that.
There is.
And it's a reminder that true success isn't about clinging to like a fixed point, but about embracing the journey of continuous learning and exploration. Joe Sugg's story is a testament to the power of self-awareness, adaptability, and the courage to redefine success on your own terms.
It really makes you think, like, what does success actually look like? Is it just about hitting those like external milestones, or is it more about like aligning with what truly matters to you, even if it means taking a less conventional path?
Yeah, it's about recognizing that sometimes the most fulfilling journeys involve like detours and unexpected turns.
Hmm.
Joe's story reminds us that it's okay to embrace those shifts, to trust our instincts, and to like redefine success on our own terms.
He's shown us that you can achieve like massive success online
Right.
and still prioritize your mental health and your personal growth and those real world connections.
Yeah, find that balance.
Absolutely. And his story is a testament to the power of being open to new experiences and embracing the unexpected.
Right.
Who would have thought that a roof thatcher would become a YouTube star, find love on a dance competition, and then rediscover his passion for nature?
It's wild.
It's like his life has come full circle in a way. From building roofs to nurturing gardens, he's found ways to connect his creative spirit with his love for the outdoors.
It's really cool.
It's inspiring to see how he's like woven those seemingly disparate interests together.
And I think that's a really powerful takeaway for all of us. We
Yeah.
don't have to limit ourselves to one path or one passion.
Mhm.
We can explore different avenues, combine our interests in unique ways, and create a life that feels authentic and fulfilling.
Joe Sugg's journey is a reminder that even those who seem to have it all figured out are still evolving, still learning, and still figuring things out along the way.
For sure.
It's a reminder that it's okay to embrace the journey with all its twists and turns, and to define success in a way that feels meaningful to you.
And ultimately, that's what matters most,
Yeah.
Finding what brings you joy,
Yeah.
pursuing your passions, and creating a life that aligns with your values.
Hmm.
Joe's story is an inspiring example of how to do just that.
Totally.
And it encourages us all to embrace our own unique journeys with courage, curiosity, and a healthy dose of self-awareness.
That's it for our deep dive into the world of Joe Sugg. What an inspiring story.
Yeah.
We hope you enjoyed it.
Me too.
Make sure to tune in next time for another fascinating deep dive.
See you then.